Good evening, Team Integrity. It's April 23rd, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we're just going to continue with our follow-up, well, part of our duplication this month. And so I'm going to be focusing on some follow-up verbiage. And tonight's going to be a work party. So I'm so glad that you all are here because we're going to actually get to work and use some of this verbiage that I'm going to share with you. These are some of the follow-ups that I've used that actually work. So I hope they work for you too, because you know, we want to get a response from people when we're following up and when we're reaching out to them, even if it's a no. So go for the no and don't be scared. So I'm really excited to share this with you. I often hear that follow-ups are awkward for people, and that was me at one point too, and it still can be at times, and that's okay. But oftentimes it sounds like the feedback I hear is, I feel like I'm bothering them, or I'm unsure and insecure about the response that I'm going to hear from this prospect, or maybe we're just going to get no response again and again and again. We all have those ghosts. People go rogue. And so what is some of that verbiage that you can use that's not invasive, that maybe it will just appeal to them and they'll finally reply? So I'm going to dive into 4 categories. They're pretty typical categories for follow-ups. They're maybe not they're not probably going to fit every situation. So that's why I'm super excited about this work party tonight, because after I'm done giving you this verbiage, we're going to just cancel the recording, end the recording, I guess is a better word, not cancel it, but end it, and we're going to get to work. And we're all going to be on Zoom together. So if you have a situation where you just really don't know, none of the verbiage that I've presented tonight is going to be a good fit for this follow-up, then we can help you. We're all here to help each other, and it's a good learning opportunity for everybody. But so I'm going to just go into the 4 typical categories for follow-ups. I will tell you what they are, and then I'll give you some verbiage examples for each of them. So one of the first typical categories is just no response. You've sent a message and no reply. And so what do you say? The second typical category is a response, but then they go rogue. So then what do you say? And then a follow-up after a 3-way call. So they didn't enroll on the initial call. So what do you say next? And then the next one is they've replied to you and their answer has been no. And that's actually amazing. That's ideal because then it gives you another opportunity down the road to be like, this wasn't a good fit for you at this time, but let's reconnect. So I'll go into some verbiage for all of these. So going back to the beginning, you have reached out to someone and you have just had no response. So these are a couple suggestions of what I do. Hey girl, I know life is hectic and I totally understand. I wasn't sure if my message went through or not, so I'm following up again just in case it didn't go through to you in the first place. So just acknowledging that life is crazy and busy, and here I am again. I'm not just gonna let you slip through the cracks. I really have something that is valuable for you, so I'm touching base again. And then another example, hey Lisa, looks like you've been busy with your recent, make sure that you kind of like look at their profile on social media and find something that you can see that they've been having a good time with. So looks like you've been busy with your recent road trip, vacation, kids, sports, holiday festivities, etc. So pick up something from their social media page just so that you have something to connect with them on and they don't feel like you're just out of nowhere blowing them up. And then say, the photos are awesome. Thank you for sharing them. It's been fun watching them or seeing them. I sent you a message last week, but I don't know if it was delivered. I totally understand that crazy life and I owe all my sanity to my nutrition. It may or may not be for you, but I'd love to connect. Are you free to hop on the phone today at da-da-da or tomorrow at da-da-da? So always give 2 options for when you're available and go from there. So those are a couple ideas for when you just have no response. How about when you have had a response, but then they go rogue? So Hey, Lisa, I've been thinking of you and the goals that we discussed last month. I'm hoping to lead a challenge next month, and it would be fun if you were a part of it. I'd love to share more with you. I really think you'd love the accountability. Are you free to connect today at DUT or tomorrow at DUT? So give those two recommendations for available times. And then another option is, hey, Lisa, checking in to see if you gave my last message any thought. I'm here to serve you and your goals, and when you're ready to get started crushing those health goals and increase your natural energy, I'm ready to help you rock it. What are you feeling would be best for you? That's a good one. Okay, so my typical responses after I've had a three-way call, they just kind of vary. So, hey, Lisa, did you have a chance to review the information I sent over? If so, what are the questions that I can answer for you so that you can confidently decide one way or the other? Make it clear that if they say no, your friendship is not off. Basically, like, it's okay if it's not for them. It may not be for them right now, and that is totally okay. But down the road, it might be a better fit. And so another example, hey, Lisa, I know you are excited about the Isagenix nutrition system we talked about and the flexible solutions it provides to help you reach your weight, wellness, and energy goals. Would you be available tomorrow to touch base again? So I have indicated that they're struggling with their weight and energy. I'm basically revisiting what their goals were that they told me to kind of strike that emotion again. And I want to get on the phone again. So that was what that follow-up was kind of about. And also that Isagenix does deliver a solution for what they're looking for. So let's talk again. Hey, Lisa, I've been thinking about you and your goals. I loved chatting with you, and I'm so excited that Isagenix has a perfect solution to help you. How are you feeling about moving forward at this time? If I am totally annoying you and you want more time or need to put this on the back burner, just let me know. This is very much a safe place to say yes or no at this time. Often with this one, since it's a little bit lighthearted, like if I'm totally annoying you, I'll give like a winky face to like just show that, you know, I don't want to bother you, but your goals are important enough to me to reach out again. And so I just kind of do winky faces and things like that to just make it not so invasive, because that's what I always try to achieve. And then one more follow-up after a three-way call is something like this. Hey, Lisa, chatted with you on Wednesday, was absolutely made my night. Your energy just makes me smile. Do you have questions that have come up since we chatted? I'd love to answer them for you to help you decide if this is a health journey you'd like to begin. I do not want you or myself to feel like you're pressured, but I want to help you in any way that I can. All right, so that was that one. And then the fourth is when they do reply and they just kindly, say no. So I would say, of course, I appreciate your honest reply. And when you're in the market for a new solution, please keep me in your back pocket as plan B. So this is a good one because we always want people to still think of us when they're just looking for something new. If what they're doing right now ends up not working long term, don't forget about us. And of course, continue to follow up. And then the next one would be, I keep thinking of you and our conversation that we had last fall about getting healthy with the solutions Isagenix offers. I know the timing wasn't right for you then. Would you be open to revisiting that this year? And I've used this one a few times for conversations I had like last year. And I will refer back to that time that we talked. And, I've followed up several times since then. But then I just like saying, are you open to revisiting your health goals this year? Or can we reconnect and just kind of maybe reestablish new health goals? Maybe their goals have changed. Maybe they're doing great on whatever they were doing, but now their health goals have totally changed. So would you be open to revisiting that this year is a nice way to phrase that. So those are some of my best verbiage that I wanted to share. It seems to work for me. Some sort of combination of those, depending on the type of follow-up that I'm doing. So that's what I have. Do you have anything to add, Rachel?
I have a question actually. Carity, can
Okay.
you talk about in each of these circumstances? So, for instance, um, someone who's gone rogue or someone who, posts three-way, all the different categories you listed. Can you talk about when do you follow up? So, how
Yeah.
often and like how long after the three-way call, things like that.
Yeah, totally. Okay. So I will, okay. Yeah, it's different for all of them. So specifically after a three-way call, before I get off of the phone with them, if they don't enroll on that call, I will set up my next appointment with them. So if I had a call today and they said, I love the information, it sounds great, but I need to think about it. No problem, absolutely. Okay, so I would just say something to the effect of, when would you have time to review the information? And I would love to set up a time to hop on the phone with you again. Would you have time, tomorrow to look at it? And could we reconnect on Wednesday? And if they say yes, I'll absolutely have time to look at it tomorrow, and Wednesday would be a great call, then I set that appointment. So I know that I'm going to re-follow up with them on Wednesday at 6 or whenever we set the time. And then if they don't answer on that phone call, then I would most likely follow up with a text message or a Facebook message, however we're corresponding. And I would say, I'm sorry I missed you at our 6 o'clock appointment today. I still really want to help you and answer your questions so that I can be of value to you. When would be a new good time to connect? If I don't hear from you, I'll follow up with you again in a couple days. Like, I'm pretty aggressive and persistent. So I don't let very much time go by at all. Like, I would just say, if you haven't heard from somebody after they're like thinking about it, or I need to talk to my husband, if it's one of those kind of responses, then I'm gonna just give it like 1 or 2 days. Or if they need to look at more information or whatever, if it's a price objection, then I will say, okay, would it be of value to you if I reached out and let you know when our next promotion was? Or, okay, if money's in a tight spot this month, can I follow up with you at the beginning of next month? I will still kind of set an appointment. So if I hope that's helpful. I don't leave things open-ended. At least I try not to. Of course, I'm not perfect, but I try and always set that appointment because I live by that. Otherwise, things get messy. And they're still messy, but I still try and have that next appointment set. So does that cover all of them? No response. Response, then go rogue. If someone's still just a no response, then so if I send a message today and I don't hear anything from them, I'll follow up again on Wednesday with my message that says, hey, life is hectic and I totally understand, but I wasn't sure if my message went through, kind of like putting all of the guilt or the error on the internet. Oh, I don't know if it went through, full well knowing that it probably did, but life is crazy and maybe they didn't receive it. So I'm just following up again in case it never went through. So just never giving up and keeping it gentle and light is kind of always my goal. And then again, if they don't follow up or if they don't respond on that Wednesday message, well, then maybe I would probably give it like 3 more days, maybe till next Monday. But I just try not to let things go longer than that. And then I didn't put this in here, but off the top of my head, my final message is, hey, oh gosh, what is my final message? Sorry, I'm kind of blanking. Basically, my final message is, I feel like I'm bothering you. So if that's the case, I'm so sorry. But if you are interested, please know that I'm always here to answer your questions. It's been such a value to me that I can't help but share things I love with the people I care about. And so I just pour my heart into that last message and let them know I'm not trying to be a bother, but this is an amazing thing that you need to know about. And then that has worked for me. And a lot of times people say, you're not a bother at all. I've been so busy. Contact me in a week or contact me in a month, or I have no health goals that I'm working on right now, but keep in touch or something like that. So people often respond on that last like final reach out where like, okay, maybe I've followed up with them 3 or 4 times and it's still no response. I get the hint that they're probably not interested. So I feel like a bother at this point. So that's kind of how I do but then they're not off my list either at that point, guys. So I will still follow up with them, but they kind of maybe like go to the bottom of the list. There's other people to talk to. So that's kind of how I handle that. Any other questions out there?
I don't see any hands raised in the chat. So if you guys do have follow-up questions, you can unmute and ask Charity, or if you need help unmuting, just go ahead and use the raise hand option and I can unmute you as well. Oh, I think Summer, you need unmuted. Oh, I saw hand signals. Okay, so what we'll do now is Charity's going to guide us through some work activities. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. So everyone wave goodbye to all the people watching the recording.